Hello Voltheads, you are watching the self-proclaimed, sarcastically named Captain KeyForge, also known as PJ Broughton of the Steel City Snufflegators.
And here we are with round 4 of the King of the Monsters, and it's Deusillus' turn to take on the Horseman deck. There is the Horseman deck. We've obviously seen it twice already. Unfortunately for the Horseman deck anyway, he's not got a win yet. I do think it's a decent deck, but as I've said on the intro to the other two videos, it needs to get its board down, and if it doesn't get its board down, it struggles to generate amber. Yeah, let's see what we got there. So for that opening hand, Chant of Hubris, that's got the potential to trigger. It's all going to depend on what my opponent gets. Equally, Fangs of Gizzleheart and the Grey Rider wouldn't be the end of the world. That would likely take out an opponent's creature and give something, but I thought I'd give it a shout, give it a mulligan. I'm not unhappy with that. The Curiosaurus is a nice artifact to see, especially against Kota. That's probably going to be of more benefit to me than it is to my opponent. Which, again, we're lucky again with Simon. Thank you for Simon for piloting the Horseman deck again. So yeah, I've gone with the Untamed. I've put down the Dark Fairy because, as we've seen before, those Dark Fairies are just ridiculous. They are proper OP. So yeah, I thought I'd just play that down, and if he couldn't kill it, I'd get something out of it. So there we go, and I have. So I fought with that, and then I can Lost in the Woods, get rid of everything, put down the Niffle Ape, and that's not a bad start after a couple of turns. 3 amber, 1 creature down, nothing in play for your opponent, and I've built myself a chance at a big Saurian turn if I want one. So Simon's played Horsemen of Famine, which kills my least powerful creature. Then he's played Bulwark, and then Take Hostages, and then a Shoulder Armour, and then a Gorm of Orm as well. So big Sanctum turn there for Simon. I've decided to play out the big Saurian turn, especially with strong Sanctum creatures down. So I played Curiosaurus, I played the Thesaurus Centurion and captured one, played a Galliatops, played a Coruscant Octavia, and then that's going to be me passing the turn. Hopefully we can get Deusillus out today, because in 3 games so far he's not been into play yet. So that would be nice. Equally, so far, Deusillus has won 1 game and lost 2 games, but the game against the Seven Sins was a real battle, and it was a little bit unlucky to lose that one. That was a massive comeback from the Seven Sins. So yeah, I think it's a decent deck. It just seems to have had a little bit of bad draw in terms of getting Deusillus into play. Yeah, hopefully we'll see it in this game. So I'm just having a look and seeing what he's going to do. I mean, he can pop the Gorm of Orm if he wants to, whether he chooses Sanctum or not, because it's an Omni. But yeah, it's what does he play the Sanctum that's down there, or does he go for something else? And he's gone for this. Played Hysteria. Then he's played Screaming Cave. Used the Gorm of Orm to destroy the Curiosaurus. That's not a bad shout. Played down a Charette and captured 3. That's quite good as well. So yeah, what do I do? Do I go with the Sanctum, or do I go with the big Saurian turn again? I mean, the Fangs of Gizzleheart to purge the Charette wouldn't be a bad shout. Or equally, I could go into the Saurian and capture with the Thesaurus Centurion when it enters play, and then Chant of Hubris it off the Thesaurus Centurion onto the Charette. And that's exactly what I'm doing, because I'm thinking I will be able to get rid of the Charette at some stage, either with fighting or play the Siren Horn down onto the Galliatops. There we go. And that's going to be me passing the turn. I mean, the Sanctum in hand is not bad for next turn, because Smite, ready and fight with one of those Saurian creatures that's already down. Plus as well, you could Grey Rider to ready and fight with one of the Saurian creatures that's already down. So he's Reaped with Charette. He's played Lash of Broken Dreams. He's used a Screaming Cave. And then Simon's passed it back to me. So obviously Fangs of Gizzleheart is not going to do me any favours on this turn, because it's going to get rid of one of mine. But I can Smite, and I can Potion of Invulnerability, or I can Grey Rider. Just a shame I haven't got another Sanctum card in hand, because otherwise I could Smite to get rid of the Charette, and then I could Grey Rider to Reap with the Sanctum creature. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to play down the Potion of Invulnerability. Then I'm going to play the Smite onto the Galliatops. I'm thinking, do I chain myself with the Fangs, or do I discard it? But with a 5, a 6 and a 12, the chance of me actually getting anything out of it are slim. There we go, so I put the Grey Rider in the middle there, but it's not going to cause anyone to fight because there's nothing to fight. And there we go, discarded the Fangs. So yeah, got a Dark Fairy, Niffle Queen. That's a decent looking Untamed turn, but equally we could still stay with the Saurian. Or, I mean, Squire Alice, Potion of Vulnerability, Reap with Grey Rider, and then fight one of the Saurian creatures into something that comes down wouldn't be a bad shout either. But again, equally, the Ghost Hawk could go next to the Grey Rider, force the Grey Rider to Reap, and then chain into the Ghost Hawk and let the Ghost Hawk either fight if there's something there to fight, or Reap. So let's see what Simon does. He's played Lash of Broken Dreams to increase my key cost to 7. That's good, because that takes me off check. Played Gateway to this to take out the whole board. That was quite a decent time, especially with that Ghost Hawk. They could have done some good shenanigans there. But after that, it's got to be all these, hasn't it? The Dark Fairy comes down, ×2. The Ghost Hawk goes down as well. Put that on the edge, try and protect those Dark Fairies. And there's the Niffle Queen as well. Pass the turn. There's half of Deusillus. The Rapid Evolution could be interesting as well, especially if I don't forge, to make one of those Dark Fairies ridiculously overpowered. So there comes a Succubus and a Snudge and a Lash of Broken Dreams again to prevent the key being forged. It'd just be pretty foolish not to go into Untamed, really, wouldn't it, and fight with those 2 Dark Fairies. Because as well, if I Rapid Evolution onto one of them can then kill Snudge. The other one will not kill Succubus, but depends what you want to do. I could always pop the Potion of Vulnerability and then fight the Niffle Queen or something into Succubus, or I could deliberately kill the Ghost Hawk and put it back into the discard, so in the hopes of redrawing it some other way. So there we go, fight a Dark Fairy, bye bye Snudge, before you start returning artifacts and creatures to my hand. Fight with the other Dark Fairy, so that's gained 4 off 2 fights. Niffle Queen takes out the Succubus, Ghost Hawk Reaps, Niffle 8 comes in. And yeah, turn 7, and yeah, I'm not forged, but I'm on 13 amber. The Lash of Broken Dreams is doing well. The thing is, Simon presumably would really want me to forge for 9 and not for 6. So it might be a good shout just going into this, just to make sure that when I forge I pay 9, but he's just been in dis already. So there we go, so he's gone into Untamed, he's played Regrowth, Ritual Balance, Witch of the Eye, Niffle Queen, pass the turn, and I'm going to forge for 6. But on the next turn he could Ritual Balance to steal 1, or again he could look at a Lash. But with that silly Untamed board, yeah, fight with both Dark Fairies, so fight off the Niffle Queen with a big one. Fight into the Witch of the Eye, so that's gained another 4. Reap with the Niffle 8, reap with the Niffle Queen, and obviously I finished off the Witch of the Eye with the Ghost Hawk. So I've reaped for 6 there. Well, I've fought with 3 creatures, reaped with 2 but generated 6. And played an artifact that's generated another 1, so I got 7 amber on that turn. That's just so much. 7 amber on 1 turn, you know, when you've played 1 card and used 5. I mean, yeah, you've used 5, but still. Especially when you've fought with a couple of them, because I've played 1 card, used 5, but also removed all the creatures from my opponent's board. I mean, yeah, there was only 2, but those Dark Fairies. Also as well, both halves of Deusillus. So, are we actually going to get him out in a game? We could do. Or is it going to turn into the Dark Fairy show? Maybe we should be calling these King of the Dark Fairies, because the Dark Fairies that are in here and the Ultra Gravitron deck are just a bit much. There's the Lash of Broken Dreams, that's not a bad shout. At least the next key will cost me 9. Then Hysteria to get rid of all the creatures on the board. Tentacus, Succubus, Screaming Cave, pass the turn. So yeah, I'm going to go into Saurine. That's what we're doing here. There he is, finally making it down. Capturing all my opponent's amber. And killing the Succubus. Beware the Ides has killed the other creature as well, the Tentacus. Then Perfectus Ludo, so if Deusillus gets killed, gets destroyed, all the amber that's on Deusillus is now going to go back to the common supply. So that was quite a decent turn. Now this, Snudge has come down. Snudge is going to be a worry for Deusillus. Shula's come down and stolen 1. That's good, because that's taken me off check. Lash of Broken Dreams, Screaming Cave. Pass the turn. I mean, at least Snudge returns Deusillus to your hand, but that's going to start to clog your hand up. So I can't decide. It's a tough one. You can either pop the Potion of Invulnerability and then pretty much drop those 2 disc creatures, or start hammering the Vine Apple Tree on the grounds that I don't care if I forge my last key at how much it costs me, and put down the Untamed. But no, we're going for popping the potion and fighting the Snudge off. Reap with Perfectus Ludo. Done 2 damage to the other disc creature that's down, the Shula. To be fair, probably want to keep the Shula on the board rather than see it go back to discard or hand in case an Arise brings it back. Because with the Screaming Cave, you just don't know how many Arises are going to come round, or Charette. So Simon's gone into this. Lash of Broken Dreams, Hysteria, Shula, Arise, Snudge. Pass the turn to me. So what do I do now? Do I put Deusillus back down again, or do I go for the Untamed? So I've decided to go for the Untamed purely because 2 creatures can't get rid of 4. And he would most likely want to get rid of the Dark Fairies because of their burst power. And again, with Snudge, return flank creatures to hand. That's why I've put the 2 Dark Fairies in the middle, and I've put an Amber counter on Vineapple Tree, because, as I say, when I'm onto my last key and my opponent isn't, it really doesn't matter what the key cost is, because if it costs 10, then it's just stopping my opponent forging, and then I forge at 6, or if it costs me 10, so be it. Do you know what? I win the game. So Simon's in a bit of a tough place. I mean, being the 2 keys to nothing down. And again, as I've said about that deck, needs the board. And this Deusillus deck, it just gets so much bonuses for fighting. I mean, when you turn a Dew Fairy into power 8, and then you fight with it in game 2, and you skirmish, you know, and there's 3 of them. It just does it does so well out of fighting. Does it do too well out of fighting? Well, I mean, to be fair, it has lost 2 out of the 3 games so far. But yeah, it does well. So Simon's gone into Untamed. He's played Witch of the Eye, Nocturnal Maneuver to exhaust 3 of the creatures that are down there. Played Vigor to gain an Amber. Healed the Witch of the Eye. Passed the turn. So I won't be forging this turn. But we'll put down Big Bad Deusillus and capture all 6. And Prefectus Ludo. So again, if Deusillus gets destroyed, all those 6 go to the common supply, which is not great to see. That's a bit of a stinker when you're on check trying to forge your first key, and then Deusillus comes and goes, I'll have all of it, and then Prefectus Ludo goes down next to him and goes, if you destroy him without destroying Prefectus Ludo first, you lose all your Amber. So yeah, Simon's gone into Sanctum. He's played Horsemen of Famine, destroyed a Dark Fairy. He's played Horsemen of Death. He's played Take Hostages. If he's got Horsemen of War, there we go, Horsemen of War, he can now fight with the 2 disc creatures, and they can capture as well because of Take Hostages, so that's good. I think he's deciding who to fight with. Snudge. He's returned the Vineapple Tree to my hand. That's quite a good one. And then the Shuler's fought the Niffle 8. So that's thinned it out. Yeah, the Snudge thought the other Dark Fairy, and thanks to the fight ability, returned the Vineapple Tree. So that was a good turn for Simon. Again, it's just a shame that Deusillus is still there with all that 6 on there. I've decided to go into Sanctum just to try and clear out a few cards, although again, the Grey Rider there, he can go down next to Deusillus and make Deusillus fight something. Just deciding who to stun with the Burning Glare. Probably best the Horsemen of Famine. Oh, but I've gone for the Snudge. Oh, that's not a bad shout either. Although it really depends on who I'd be putting Deusillus into. Also as well, it's probably a bad shout actually, because if I do play Grey Rider next to Deusillus, which I've done there, ready and fight with Deusillus, pick a creature, any creature, and then everything else is going to get 2 damage anyway, so I'd have probably been better stunning something else. Although at least those 2 creatures have not particularly got the best reap abilities in the world. that's probably a mistake. Purifier of Souls, destroyed abilities don't trigger when Deusillus has now got destroyed, all the amber goes back to the common pool. That was probably a bit of a boo-boo. It's back to Simon though. And yeah, it's there's been some fortunate draw, I think, for me there, and some unlucky draw for Simon, but to be 3 keys to 0, I mean, he can lash, which is going to stop me winning the game, but unless he's got a Schuler or a Charette, I think that's about the only way he is going to stop me forging this turn. The Ritual of Balance will get 1, but it's not going to take me off 6. So he's gone for Untamed. Played Lost in the Woods. That'll get rid of Deusillus. And it will get the amber back. Then Ritual of Balance to steal 1. Then Regrowth to get the Witch of the Eye back to hand. But then that's the game. So after 4 games for Deusillus, Deusillus has taken 2 wins. So 50% record, again, can't complain about that. 9 keys over 4 games, so obviously 6 from 2 wins, and then a 2, and then a 1. The 1 is the disappointing one. I always like to see decks get in 2 keys when they're losing the game. So yeah, that's a slight disappointment, but the Time Traveller Battlefleet deck was a very, very good deck. And yeah, equally Deusillus has finally come down, and he's come down twice in one game, just like Ultra Gravitron did in the first game. So after 4 games, 2 wins, 9 keys, played 2 times, and Ultra Gravitron and Deusillus both doing pretty similar, 2 wins each, 2 plays each. However, Deusillus is edging the keys with 2 more keys, but Niffle Kong is leading the way, 3 wins, 11 keys, and played 7 times over 4 games, which is 5 times more than the other 2. So yeah, we'll be having round 5 next week, and Ultra Gravitron will be going first. The video should be up on Tuesday, but we haven't decided on what deck yet. So any ideas on what you want to see, you might put it in the comments. You might get what you want.
Thanks for watching, so feel free to like and subscribe. I love comments and criticism, so please feel free to leave those. I'll hope to see you next time, but until then, may the Forge be with you.